This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, where it's Hyundai holidays going on now. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
A series of meetings underway as the Guam Department of Education prepares to close certain schools due to lower student enrollment.
Tourists say Guam lacks a must-visit appeal, according to the Guam Visitors Bureau. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with what the local community has to say.
And I'm Jason Salas in Upper Tuman. We're over at the home of the Islanders. Some young green and gold students are putting the concept of Inapamalik into proper practice for the holiday season.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day.
Well, certain public schools will close. The Guam Department of Education superintendent set to make its recommendations to the board.
But first, they want to hear from you, the community. Education leaders saying your feedback as parents, teachers, employees, and students will play a crucial role in shaping this decision.
Imagine longtime public schools that maybe you, your parents, or even your grandparents went to closing for good. That's the reality for the Guam Department of Education. Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson poised to present his recommendations on school closures to the Guam Education Board soon. GDOE is hosting a series of virtual community briefings this week to shape the final outcome.
I have preliminary information that looks promising. We still have more input together. That's why we're doing this week.
And despite speculation, Swanson emphasizes that his proposals remain preliminary as multiple factors continue to play a role in the decision-making process.
As we go through the process of examining these, we're looking at what's the cost savings if we decommission a school, and they're ranging in from just short of $2 million to almost $3 million that we can recover if we did that with just one campus.
And while cost savings are a major driver, especially amid a $47 million budget shortfall, the recommendations also reflect declining enrollment numbers. GDOE student population currently stands at 23,000, a significant drop from 30,000 pre-COVID. So, for example, we have 2 schools in Arahan. When you look at the capacities, we have way more capacity than we did. What would happen if we combined and made in Arahan Middle a K-8 school? Keeps the kids in a community, which is that's the biggest concern that I hear across the island, is we want our kids to be in the neighborhood of their schools. And taking a trip up north, Swanson observes that many schools there remain full. However, he uses the hypothetical decommissioning of Chief Brody Elementary as an example of how attendance zones could be redrawn, with students potentially being realigned to Atacao Elementary, Tumuning Elementary, and Juan M. Guerrero Elementary. But he's clear this is not an official plan. Ultimately, the decision on school closures lies with the Guam Education Board, which can accept, modify, or reject the plans presented.
The target that I'm recommending for implementation is next school year, 25-26. Nothing this school year, because the logistical things that need to be done because it will change configurations of buildings.
The community engagement sessions begin tonight at 6 p.m. for the Hadza region or Southern districts, Thursday for the Katan and Lutsan region or Central District, and Friday for the Lagu region or Northern districts. We've got the Zoom link on KUAM.com. You can also watch on the GDOE Facebook page.
Well, tourists from our top 2 biggest markets say Guam lacks a quote-unquote must-visit appeal, among other mixed criticisms. This according to the Guam Visitors Bureau during the recent Tourism Recovery Forum.
As Mitsuki Hirayama reports, some in the community agree that there's not much to see or do since the pandemic.
While Guam has very accessible resorts, the island lacks a, quote, must-visit appeal, according to Guam Visitors Bureau Acting President and CEO Jerry Perez.
there's really nothing unique or compelling to choose Guam over other destinations that are also convenient. Other than being a U.S. territory, they consider Guam just another ordinary southern island.
Paris sharing sentiments like these from Japanese and Korean visitors, Guam's top 2 markets, during Monday's Tourism Recovery Forum. KUAM reading aloud those comments to the public. Sonia resident Larry Basinger has mixed feelings.
I don't know, we don't have anything like theme parks or GameWorks went down, so we do kind of lack anything big like that, like a Six Flags. But if we had a way to show them the beauty of our island, I think that might be able to inspire some of them to come out. Like if we had more tour guides for hikes.
He admits more can be done to feature the beauty of the island and culture.
When I was younger and I was here, we did a lot more with fiestas and stuff, like Talifofo was really big on that. I kind of agree. I don't see a lot of locations you can go except for maybe the hotels. They have some of like Tahitian dancing, but even that's Tahitian, that's not Chamorro culture.
GVB says visitors from Japan and Korea both want to experience more of the local culture. These residents also agree.
I think we need to spend more funds, I guess, and resources towards promoting our local culture and way of life, because there's really nothing going on here.
So I think we definitely could get a lot more functions that deal with ancient Chamorro culture. I think they're right. We could do that better.
We should do more of our culture stuff because our culture is actually dying.
Additionally, some visitors are, quote, turned off by Guam marketing its connection to the U.S., saying it's better to highlight Guam's uniqueness instead. Chalampago resident A.J. Munya agrees.
We consider ourselves as U.S. territory, but the uniqueness in our culture, the Chamorro culture, I mean, it's for us to be more proud of.
He says while GVB has different programs with hotels and local businesses, more can be done to market the experiences Guam has to offer.
But I think we should put ourselves more out there as far as giving our tourists, people who come to see what Guam's all about, a little bit more broader spectrum on where to go and how to meet the people, or different areas that they're missing out on.
As reported, GVB has proposed a 2-year, $60 million tourism recovery plan that prioritizes airline incentives, a new marketing campaign, and destination development that will require both the public and private sectors working together. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Now to an update on a homicide investigation that unfolded back in August.
Defendant Eugene Huffman is now facing charges of manslaughter and negligent homicide in connection to the death of a 33-year-old woman police found dead in his Dededo home. A superseding indictment charges Huffman additionally with multiple counts of first and third degree criminal sexual conduct, aggravated assault, and felonious restraint. Huffman stands accused of allegedly torturing, abusing, and raping the victim, Katina Afjehi prior to her death. Doctors concluded he is fit to stand trial. No word yet when Huffman is scheduled to appear back in court. A woman charged in connection to the deadly armed robbery outside the Thai Thai restaurant in Timoning was granted her request to find work. Defendant Jenna Rose Manabusan appeared before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan in Superior Court today. Prosecutors opposed the request due to the serious charges she's facing, to include conspiracy to commit aggravated murder. The court ordered that her third-party custodian take her to find work, adding she would need to continue wearing her electronic monitoring. Manabusan and co-defendant Domingo Mendiola are charged in connection to the killing of 53-year-old Sumitra Lairopi. Investigators say the deadly armed robbery was drug-related.
A serial killer convicted back in the 1980s, partially winning his appeal in the Supreme Court of Guam, Alejo Andriatico is serving a life sentence, which he contends was illegal. Justices ruling at the time of his sentencing, Guam law did not permit life without parole for attempted aggravated murder. The case was remanded to the Superior Court for further proceedings. As KUAM reported, Andriatico was 20 back in 1983 when he and co-conspirator Romeo Marquez went on a crime spree that took 7 lives and injured 10. The pair again took 2 lives inside the Department of Corrections. Andriatico is currently being held in a federal prison in Atwater, California. Up next, EPA celebrates Pacific Island's zero waste and resilience accomplishments.
And students at the home of the Islanders are ready for the holidays. Find out what they're up to. You're watching KUAM.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you tired of standing in long lines waiting to ship out or send out packages? GU Mail is here for you. Visit their friendly staff in Harmon next to McDonald's. We offer private mailbox service, open 7 days a week with package notification via email or WhatsApp. Shipping from DHL, FedEx, UPS, and USPS. We also offer shipping and freight service, packaging supplies, printing, and copy available. Need notary public service? Call us at 671-648-7867 to schedule an appointment today. GU Mail, here for your convenience.
Welcome back to Primetime. Talks on Guam's meth epidemic have been canceled yet again between the governor and the attorney general.
AG Doug Moylan saying it's disconcerting that our people are dying and the governor's dilatory and now walled off response threatens all our safety. The AG is pushing to meet with the Magahaga in an effort to stop the flow of methamphetamine into Guam from where his office believes it's the primary source, the Port Authority of Guam. He notes meth has gotten as low as $100 per gram, and the amount and availability seen in their prosecutions and hearings from informants is through cargo at the port.
Moylan anticipates presenting data and solutions calling for 100% meth inspection. The AG adding the port's cargo meth influx can be easily eliminated with the right person serving as governor. Our invitation to conduct the roundtable remains open. However, we intend to target the port and any government officials who are facilitating the illegal import of meth into our community that has caused so much continuing death and injury. Adelup says a new meeting date has not yet been set.
And in other news, Guam and the CNMI gets national recognition.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency recognizing our islands for their resilience. Officials noting even as super typhoons swept through our communities, the Marianas found ways to take care of the environment. For America Recycles Day, Guam EPA announces that the island composted a record-breaking 146,798 tons of waste in 2023. This including large amounts of green waste from Typhoon Mawar. EPA Pacific Southwest Regional Administrator Martha Guzman says the Pacific Islands continue to develop innovative, community-centered models to protect the environment. Governor Lulian Guerrero adding despite the global challenges, our island community remains steadfast in our commitment to sustain our island's recycling efforts and support regenerative models of material management through zero waste and circular economies. Additionally, Guam EPA continues serving the environment through the Composting in Every Village program. Find out more on their IG at Guam EPA. Our next report takes us to Upper Tumon, where a fun activity is teaching kids stewardship of their community and caring for one another in an innovative way.
And as Jason Salas takes you inside John F. Kennedy High School's Project Regift.
Long ago, Angelo Andres returned to his alma mater to teach social studies, and a major component that he's always preached is social responsibility with application to the island way of life.
So, we're covering our lesson on Inaf Malik, and the whole concept of Inaf Malik is the whole spirit of giving and helping one another out.
More than 1,000 articles of clothing, shoes, and supplies were collected almost entirely from students, with contributions from faculty and admin staff.
Project Regift has been going on for a while, but this is the first time after COVID that we've done it again.
So this regifting practices the tomorrow spirit of Inaf Malik, which is helping other people without getting without no bad feelings, no greed, no jealousy, and we just wanted to help people who needs more clothes, who wants more clothes, and who could gift to other family members for their Christmas presents.
Participants from JFK's student body could select up to 3 items for themselves or to be re-gifted as holiday presents. It's our highest virtue put into practice.
We did this 2 years ago in 2022, and he asked me, hey, can we use the library? I said, hey, you know, the library is a multi-function place, not just for reading and studying and, you know, hanging out, but we also wanted to use it for community service as well.
More than just classwork, JFK demonstrates the notion that being genuine about supporting one another is the island way.
Some of the students brought 50 clothes to the donation, and we just want to give on.
We just want to give back.
Now for your world at home.
Here's a view captured of the holiday display at the Micronesia Mall.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Happy birthday, D-I-R-F-D-A-Y. Happy birthday, Jamaican grill. Yeah man, serious food.
Taco Bell Cantina chicken burrito?
What do you need that for?
Chicken doesn't have to be flavorless, I guess.
Here we go. It can be tender and slow roasted.
Slow roasted? That sounds lazy to me.
The holidays can be a tough time for the modern chicken eater.
A burrito on what could be Gam Gam's last holiday?
What'd she say?
But don't worry, there's hope for every family. Cantina chicken is winning hearts and mouths across the country. Because a future this delicious can't be ignored for long.
Put it down.
Forgive me, Gam Gam.
A new era of chicken is here to stay.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Superspeed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
All right, get your holiday shopping done at the Nenny Christmas Market. This wonderful event is just in time for the holidays, and it's taking place on December 22nd from 12 to 4 at GPO near Cinnabon. It's a vibrant marketplace for Nenny entrepreneurs to showcase their unique business concept, and they are the cutest things, making their sales pitches, show you their amazing stores. Support them, because they are awesome. All right, Santa Claus. Santa! I know him! All right, that's a great movie, by the way. All right, Maniello is inviting you to join breakfast with jolly old St. Nick on the 28th at Tuman Sands Plaza. Enjoy writing letters to say, hey, me and Santa follow each other on Instagram, all right? He's a cool guy. Coloring, hair braiding, photo booths, and so much more. Make sure to get your tickets now. And support nonprofit Equality Guam on Wednesday the 18th. That's this week. You can get gifts wrapped by the group who will be set up at GPO near Twinkles from 5:30 to closing. Payment by donation. Hey, no shame in your game if you don't know how to wrap presents, right? I do not, so I have the professionals do it. I go to all of the malls, these wonderfully hardworking kids, student groups, always support them, all the schools. Thank you for wrapping my present. I've got like at least 7 for you to do.
Now for your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts.
Which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday to 18-year-old Sway James and to the baby of the bunch. We love you so much, Bo, says your family and friends. And Sway, we hope you have a fantastic 18th birthday.
That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Hafa, welcome to a new episode of The Hub. I'm Nick Delgado, and it's the final episode of 2024. What better way to get ready to start a new year than to speak with some of the newly elected candidates for the 38th Guam Legislature? We continue to do that. Joining us in studio now is Senator-elect Vince Borja. Hafa.
Hafa, Nick.
How does it feel to hear that?
You know, it's still, I think for me, right, I've always, and if you've known me over the last 4 years, I'm not one for the limelight, right? So it's different. You know, a lot of people will be like, you don't sound excited. And I think that's just always been I am excited. It really is just, I'm just never really one for titles, right? And in the military. But yeah, we're excited. I think the caucus is excited. The Republican Party is excited. And we're ready to, you know, we're counting down the days till we take office.
Yeah, and not only did you secure a spot in the legislature, you're in the majority.
Yes, that's the bigger responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure, only because obviously, you know, the Republicans haven't had a majority, and almost 20 years, 18, 16, 18
Nearly,
years. Yeah, and so, when people I bump into people and they're congratulations and, and they all say, we're excited, we can't wait to see the great things you guys are going to do. And, I think we're focused on and we're willing, or we know we need to fulfill our commitment to, is that we promise to work really hard, right, and to listen. I think that's the most important part. Listen to the community and address the things that are most important to them. And so we're ready and we're excited. Yeah.
Aside from the excitement, how do you feel that they're really holding this Republican majority up on a pedestal?
Mm-hmm.
They want the proof in now what they put out there in their vote.
Yeah, I will say though, if it's one thing that is a little different, and you can kind of see that, like even when we get together, right, you have like the incumbents who have been, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, and then you have, Tony out of the 5 of us that newly elected is probably, one of the returnees, but for the most part, he spent a lot of time in the private sector. Most of us, actually all of us, came from the private sector. Sean had some government time, but just the different perspective and the way of thinking, and just, really being able to really sit there and not just go with what, we obviously have a lot of respect for the incumbents, and we look up to them for a lot. But I will say that the new guys and the new ladies, we really try to be independent in the way we think. Of course, with their mentorship as well. So it should be interesting. We don't just all agree with everybody because of their seniority, and so I think we have a good group of diverse background within the Republican majority, so it should be good.
I asked this question when I spoke earlier this month to Senator-elect Shango Matauta, who's still the Republican Party chairman while he's retaining that seat. I said, how do you guys plan to work with Adelup? Because you just said it there. We're not there to just agree because you have time in office, your seniority, you're the veteran. How would you say you plan, as now the senator for the 38th, plan to work with the administration?
So I'm going to speak for myself when I say this, and I've always been very clear in anything that I've done, is that, I understand the role of the legislature, and our job is not to execute or to tell the governor what to do, right? Our job is to be checks and balances, to pass a budget, right? That's one of the biggest responsibilities. So of course we're open to working with the governor in regards to what her initiatives are, right? Her job is to execute the laws of Guam, and that includes what, not necessarily us telling her what to do, but at the same time, if her role or her goals are to build whatever it is she wants, whether it be the hospital, right? One is to ensure that it's fiscally responsible, right? We know where the money is going to come. We're not going to put the government into debt when we do this, but also, there are some concerns with some of the things that she wants to do. And I think for us, it's not just automatically say no, but to understand and to make sure that what she's doing is going to be good for the people of Guam. And for me, it's always long-term. Like, how does this affect us in the long term? Is this going to be good? And so if we didn't all come in with the, hey, she's a Democrat and we're a Republican. It's, what can we do to help the people of Guam? And if it means working with the governor and doing what's best for Guam, then we're open to it. We're not just dead set on like anything that the governor wants. We're not in support of it.
Okay, leaving nothing off the table there, it sounds like. And so you brought up the hospital. That's currently an issue still being debated between one of your Democrat colleagues, your soon-to-be Democrat colleagues, and the governor. I wanted to get your thoughts on just how the governor is going about securing the property in Manila for a hospital. First off, do you support a hospital in Manila?
I support, I support the hospital anywhere. I think even at this point, the people of Guam, the people of Guam elected the Republican majority because they were tired of the disagreements or the fighting that had been going on. And for me, at this point, like, I'm going to listen to the will of the people. Most of them say just build a hospital. We don't care where it's at this point, as long as it's obviously going to be safe and it makes sense and it's not going to, ruin our land or put more cost on our people. But I think for me, if that's the best place at this point and it's going to get one built tomorrow, then I support it. And again, I speak for myself when I say this, as long as it makes sense. I know there was a recent opinion issued by the AG. Again, that's another thing to consider. I don't know all the facts. I saw it this morning. I didn't get a chance to read it. I've seen some of the back and forth. I kind of briefly looked at the release from the governor as well, right? So again, I don't. At this point, I don't know the facts. But again, if the AG says it was illegal or whatever the case may be, and that's, then we have to, this is where the judiciary branch has to be the one to interpret who's right and who's wrong. And so, that's really all we can do at this point.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break in just a moment, but I want to first ask the question, what is one of your top priorities in your first 100 days?
I think, it's out there. I'm the committee, going to be the incoming chairman on the Committee on Education. I think my priority, obviously, is I know there has been a lot of work that has been done to ensure that schools pass safety inspection, but is to continue to work to ensure that schools open on time, right? And now is the best time to ask in January and not wait to July where we're like, hey, the schools are not ready. Yeah, so that's priority number one, is to ensure that we ask that question.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about those plans and how you plan to work with the education officials as well in that new role as committee chair. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it here. You're watching The Hub.
Thanks.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
I could feel it, I won't come down. I could see it with all that.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. We continue our interview now with Senator-elect Vince Borja. Are you ready for the 38?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited.
He's also the committee chair on education. What were some of the other committees?
It's
communication.
Communications, public broadcasting, and the libraries.
Yeah. Okay, first let's unpack a little bit more about education. Before we hit the break, you said we want to get to discussing opening schools ahead of time. Let's start at the beginning of the year, not the beginning of the school year.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the first questions. I think for me, it's not even like, at a public hearing or an oversight hearing. I think what's important is even my first meeting, the SUP has reached out to the superintendent. With GDOE has reached out. I've met already with. I met with Dr. Okada, I've met with Dr. Enriquez at the university, but I've yet to meet with the superintendent, which is really my number one priority, especially with the public schools, because of just what has happened over the last year. And so that's going to be my very first question when we meet is, where are we at with ensuring that schools continue to stay open, and that not just are we going to be open, but do we have everything we need to start the school year off right?
The delay that we saw the start of this school year, it wasn't the first time we experienced that. And as an educator yourself, someone that works with the school system, what do you think might be the problem?
I think for me, right, in anything that I've ever done, from the military to corporate to even in education, is that it comes down to leadership. Right. At the end of the day, you need to think of today and the things that are going on, the things that you need to address, but you always gotta there's always strategic planning. There's always long-term planning that you have to look at. You look at your calendar, you ensure that not just everything that needs to get done today is being worked on. But hey, like we still have a school year that's coming up. We need to ensure that we have the inspections that need to be done. We have the staff that we have the resources that we have. And these are the things that I think that you have to hold the superintendent, the principals, the deputy superintendents accountable for. And I think, the board should own some responsibility for that as well, because again, their job is to oversee the superintendent. I mean, they hire him. And so it's definitely something that we need to continue to press and hold people accountable, hold their feet to the fire, I guess is what we call it in the Army.
The superintendent's been noticing in just his first year in office that there aren't as many students that are enrolled in public school these days. So he needs to right size, as he says it, the schools, and make sure that we might need to close some schools, we might need to consolidate some schools. But you can imagine, especially as a parent, how that might give pause to many. What's your take on that?
I mean, they're doing it for the right reasons, right? Funding is obviously what initiated this thought and this task force to look at, and then of course looking at not just the funding, but also like Simon Sanchez, right? There's the double session, and that has to have been or has affected students for sure, has affected families, and we don't want that to become the norm. And so I think for me, it's looking at how we can address those two things: with the funding, being able to continue to fund the schools, and then how do we ease up the daily pressures of being a student in a afternoon class, or even teachers, right? I mean, it changes your life, and it's just like COVID. Like there's going to be a long-term effect because of this, right? Students, either the ones that are, the ones that come in later in the afternoon, or even the ones that come in super early in the morning. It's affecting their learning, right? Most of them wake up, I think, at 3 or 4 in the morning to get to the bus stop at 5 and to get to school by 6. And so we definitely need to, with the outfitting and not shutting down the schools, but right sizing the way that the school is structured. I think that's definitely something we definitely need to continue to look at.
If I may ask, let's use the letter grading system for this question here. How would you grade the state of the public education system as it is today?
That's an easy one because, to put a caveat out there, my wife is a school counselor in the public school system. Her sister is an administrator. Her other sister is a second grade teacher. Her mom is a Chamorro teacher. I have a cousin who's a school aide. So I bet, just based on the conversation.
You live with the school system.
Yes. I mean, they would give it probably a D, right? I mean, and I'd be safe to say, with their, if you average out all the ratings from the public health inspections, it kind of aligns with that, right? Not just with like safety and health, but even just with being, the resources that they have to do their job. And so that's what I would give it, for sure.
Wow. That's an honest answer, and that is what we're seeing whenever public health and DOE put out those announcements saying, "Oh, we passed." And it's good to think positive about it, but I mean, you're still putting your children and your staff in facilities that really are short of barely passing.
Yeah, I was at a cross-country meet last week in Inalahan and the middle school. And as we were running to the back to watch the students run, I saw the door, like big red tape, like do not enter, class unsafe or something. And so it was, for me, that was, eye-opening, considering that we're kind of just moving about our day, right? And nobody's really talking about it right now. I'm sure the administrators are aware of it, but inspections happen when, like, we've been talking about this for the last 5 or 6 months. Like, if I was a principal of that school, I mean, I get it, there's just a lot of other things, but I would still be pounding on somebody's door, to address that. And so it's interesting to see that. And I'm sure that is probably what's going on, is that we passed, we opened, nobody's talking about it right now. So all these things that they did, I mean, my wife's school, Price Elementary in Manila, they've shut down portions of the school, right, to pass. And so, hopefully there's a plan to get them up and running.
Okay, well, now you're leading the charge to keep them accountable on that. I want to touch a little bit on the public library system, because we have some of them that have been closed. I think Dedido, I saw it was shuttered. I'm not sure if it was just closed. Malesu, that's kind of iffy whether or not that's still in operation. But
Paragata is somewhat.
Should we still have those pocket libraries, or?
You know, I think so. I mean, especially with all this funding that they're getting for technology, right? There was that grant that just came out recently that the governor got. We definitely need to modernize it. That is, I think that's the one thing. Even just at UOG, and I know that they've done a good job. There has been some improvement, at least since I've attended there over the last 10 years, but the public library needs to really be modernized. We'll save a lot of money as well, right? Because you're not going to have all the books and all the shelves. We definitely need to, there's been a lot of money that came because of COVID and technology. I'm sure there's thousands of laptops sitting around somewhere. So we definitely need to look at all these libraries, and it'll definitely help with especially a lot of these in these underserved communities. If we modernize the libraries and students or kids can go there and use it. So it's definitely something that I thought about as well.
Library is always going to be in need, no matter if you are in the digital age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, Senator-elect Borja, what message would you say to the Democrats, especially since they're incumbents? What would you say to them for those that are watching as you get ready to head in to work with them, alongside them?
I think one thing that was very clear in the campaign, and I think which is why the Republicans was able to get the majority, is that we committed to working with whoever as long as it was in the best interest of the people. We're not here. I'm not here to I'm not here to pick a side and only align with that. We're willing to work, right, if it benefits the people of Guam, and we're hoping. I mean, granted, we have enough to make to move things. We're still open to working with the Democrats as well, and we look forward to the great work that we'll do for the people of Guam.
Okay, we'll be watching. We'll be there on Inauguration Day, seeing you guys get sworn in. A very historic moment for our political landscape here in Guam. And again, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
All right, Senator-elect Vince Borja joining us here. We'll continue with more on The Hub here when we return.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
This holiday season begins at Kmart, where every aisle is filled with magic. Discover the perfect toy that sparks joy and gifts that bring smiles. Kmart has all the ingredients you need to make your family traditions special without breaking the bank. From trimming the tree to filling your home with holiday cheer, you'll find it all in one place. Discover the magic waiting for you at Kmart, where busy families find everything they need to make memories that last a lifetime. Kmart, for the holidays, for the family, for the magic.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping, pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. Well, a new person in the seat now for this last episode of the year of 2024, Senator-elect Shelly Calvo. Half a day, Shelly.
Half a day, Nick. Half a day, everyone who's watching out there. It's good to be back here, and I'm happy to be talking to you again and guesting here.
I think it's the first time we've spoken since the election, so congratulations are in order.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I want to take this opportunity to thank every single person who supported me, who helped me out in my campaign, and most especially all the people that voted for me and gave me this chance, this incredible opportunity to serve our island and our people.
The Republican getting the majority, taking over, you're part of a big historic moment.
I agree, and you know, it feels really good to be part of this like you mentioned, historic moment. And we're excited about it. We're very excited about it. And we started working a lot together already since day one. So we really hit the floor or the road, not running, or the ground, not running, but flying.
There you go, soaring.
Soaring, yes.
And so Tell me a little bit about the committees that you will be chairing in the 38th.
All these committees are the ones that I actually truly wanted to serve, so I feel fortunate to be able to have them. And I call them the committees with a heart. You know, they're all about people, serving our people. And this is really why I ran in the first place, is to serve our people, our islands. So I'm going to have child welfare. I'm going to have manamkus. I have women's affairs. I have youth affairs. And I'm also going to have cultural arts, culture, historic preservation, Agana restoration, and so on. So I'm truly excited. It's been very busy in my corner. I didn't want to wait until next year. I started preparing already, so it's been hectic.
As someone who will be leading the charge for our Manamku, what do you see would be the most important thing that we need to get to help our?
The most crucial thing is how we really take care of our Manamkus. You know, they are our island's treasure, right?
Greatest generation.
One of, exactly, greatest generation. They're one of our island's most valuable treasures because they have the experience, they have the wisdom, and I truly hope that our youth will constantly, and if not amp up the engagement with them, because there's a lot of things we can learn from them. But anyways, I think one of the most important things that we need to tackle, and I'm very much interested to work on, is how we care for them. The resources that is available for healthcare for them. We don't really have, like, unlike other places, right? We don't really have a retirement home here. So anybody that will probably have a plan for that, I would fully support things like that, because honestly, Guam could be Asia's destination for retirement homes. Yeah, we do have a lot of Manamkus here, so we can actually start within our backyard. And
it's such a great idea, Shelley.
It is.
Only because whenever you think of retirement homes, stateside at least, from what I'm familiar with, people think Florida, the tropics.
Yes.
Why can't that be us?
Why can't that be us? You know, we have the perfect environment for it, and we have not just the environment, but our culture. You know, we are very much close within our families, right? So we have the culture that we can offer. We're used to that. We're used to this taking care of Manamkos. So this is the best destination for that. But obviously, we want a place for them to spend the primes of their lives in a nice, not just safe environment, but also where they can have fun. You know, we don't want to take that away from them, right? So on that note, I am very much interested in working on a lot of things and projects that involve our Manamku. And not just for our Manamku, obviously one of my dear focus is our children and our youth. So I'll have child welfare as well.
What does that mean?
Well, I will chair CPS and foster kids. And
they really need the help.
Yes. So I am happy to take on the responsibility. I know it's a challenging times for a lot of kids here on Guam, not just foster kids, but there's really a lot of not just abused kids, but we're talking about neglected kids, neglected children. So I am happy to take on that responsibility and work on that.
Yeah, even one is far too many to hear about, like you said, especially when the culture and the environment that we grow up and live with here in Guam and in this region is really tight-knit.
Yes, and honestly, the tight-knit that we, most of us grew up with, you know, okay, Philippines and Guam have very much the same culture, not just culture, but traditions, but also, you know, how we respect our elders and how we care for our kids, right? How we care for our children or our youth. So I think I like to bring that back. You know, the traditional values, I like to impose on that, and I want to work on that, want to collaborate on that one, because that really affects our family unit. And when you talk about neglected and abused kids, Sometimes, not sometimes, it's most of the time, we need to factor in why there's neglect. Maybe because the values are being forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, our traditional family unit, the values that we grew up with, that maybe we can start reinforcing them once again, right?
I love that, and it's also about giving children that voice to let them know that they should speak up whenever they are in harm's way or being neglected.
That's correct.
Or abused.
That's correct. But not too much, because they need to listen to their parents.
Of course. Respect and discipline works both ways.
Yes, yes. I grew up in a family wherein discipline is obviously, yeah, we're in that generation, right? And I think we're all in the place where we took correct paths or right paths, right?
Yeah.
And I could attribute that to discipline that we probably grew up with, and the family structure that we grew up with.
I call it tough love. I call it what you will, but I call it tough love.
Yes.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about the Hagatnya restoration efforts, since that's something that you will be spearheading
as
in
well,
the legislature. But first, a quick break.
Yes,
Keep it here. You're watching The Hub.
Thank you.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam. The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. We wrap up the show again speaking with Senator-elect Shelley Calvo. Senator-elect, how is that?
Senator-elect.
Have you gotten used to that title yet?
Not yet, but it's interesting because a lot of people are already calling me Senator.
Yeah.
So I just have to remind
And it'll
them,
follow you
Senator-elect.
however you plan to, whatever you decide to do long after serving.
But like I said, I already started working from day one, and I had been sitting down with a lot of key people that, just to prepare myself, especially with my committees and everything, because I don't want to wait until next year to start working.
Yeah, and one of the things that you'll be spearheading and chairing and have oversight over is the Hagatnya Restoration
and Redevelopment Authority, correct.
Whenever you see the capital of a big city or just anywhere really, that's kind of the focus, the hub, right?
Yes.
The city center, of the pulse, what we have it, of any place.
Yeah.
And I think Hagatnya right now has a long way to go.
Yes, yes. We did have plans in the past, right? We did have a master plan. I actually sat there as one of the board directors in the past. So we did have very extensive and really good plans, and I was hoping we could still implement them, or at least part of them. But we did some restorations along the way, but the whole extent of the plan, where we liven up the capital of our island and infuse a lot of foot traffic there, I think we should look into that again. And that goes hand in hand with our tourism efforts.
Yeah.
So now that I will be chairing that, I will be pushing some ideas and probably revive some plans from the past. You know, I'm not saying everything, the whole 9 yards, but at least continue something. And it doesn't, it takes a lot of people to do that. So I will coordinate with obviously our administration, legislature, and GVB. And because I'm also chairing culture,
yeah,
it all ties up. So I know specifically I wanted to do this because I'm very much interested in our tourism, in our economic development, and our, you know, how we can bring Guam back to our old track before, where businesses are flourishing and people are flourishing and there's job opportunities and there's a lot of things to do here in Guam. So I will be working, so it's all woven together, my committees and other plans that I intend to do for our island and our people. And you know, I could see it already that there's so many things I wanted to do and so little time, because you know, this appointment is like 2 years, and 2 years can go by so fast.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm hoping for a lot of collaboration from a lot of people, and I will be there to render support. Obviously, I'm here to work, Nick.
Yeah, and the people have really put the Republican victors on a high pedestal. So you guys have a lot to prove. But you had mentioned working with other people like the administration.
Yes,
and that's something the current legislature hasn't been settled on settled ground with. How do you plan to work out issues, for example, like the hospital, when it comes to any disagreements or to reach a compromise with the administration?
Well, you know, I am the type of person who likes harmony and peace, and I'd like to work with everybody. So I was actually happy to get the to be elected as majority whip, and so I will not stand in the way of progress. Let's put it that way. If it's good for our island and our people, you will not see me trying to block, or, you know, I will work as long as it makes sense. It's sensible, it's good for the people, good for the island. I will not stand in the way.
Okay.
And development and progress is my eyes, and my focus is in development, progress, opportunities for Guam. So I'm gonna keep everything sensible, on a sensible level. So that's how hard work and sensibility. That's what you're gonna expect from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see the work that you put in. Final question here. What would you say to your Democrat colleagues as someone who's part of the Republican majority?
That this is the time and the moment for all of us to come together, work in harmony, and set aside whatever differences there is. Personally speaking, I can work with everybody, so I have a good relationship with everybody. But and I expect that things will be smooth sailing in this coming 38th legislature for everyone.
Well, we'll be there on Inauguration Day to capture what you guys are swearing in. More history to be made, and we can't wait to see what you guys do in the 38th.
Thank you. I'm so excited too. I know the whole Guam is excited to see what's happening. But yes, for progress, here we come.
Here we come. Senator-elect Shelley Calvo, thank you so much for your time.